The first is a stone in the throat. It is the first thought upon waking to the white glare of the sun, and the last before succumbing to a shallow, rasping sleep for the people of the Red Earth. This epoch of prehistoric life has become a slow march toward desiccation. The creeks are ghosts of cracked mud, the belonges are bowls of dust. The Varriere tastes of gritted endings. They move through a brittle landscape of scorched eucalyptus and skeletal acacia, their bodies showing the unforgiving arithmetic of starvation. Sunken eyes watch the horizon for clouds that never form. This is a land under the tyranny of an unbroken sky, a continent testing the limits of its newest arrivals. These small bands of Homo sapiens pushing into a world of ancient dangers. There is one place left, a deep, shaded pool where the dying river has coiled back on itself. A final puddle of murky, life-giving water, but they are not alone in their thirst. A guardian resides there, one of the last kings of the Pleistocene megafauna. They see its tracks first, each a depression in the baked turf the size of a man's chest. They feel its presence in the unnatural silence that hangs over the waterhole, a perimeter of fear that no kangaroo or deep-rooted will cross. Then, they see it, Megalania, 20 feet of armored, reptilian muscle. It lies half submerged in the cool mud, obsidian eyes unblinking, a living fossil of immense power. Its grey-green scales are a mosaic of stone and shadow, thick as a hunter's thumb. When it moves, it is with the terrible, unhurried confidence of an apex predator that has never known a rival. Twice, they have tried. The first time, two young hunters, their bodies lean and corded with desperation, attempted to approach from the west under the midday sun, hoping the glare would blind it. The great lizard did not even rise. It simply lifted its massive head, tasted the air with a fork, purple-black tongue, and issued a guttural hiss that vibrated through the ground. The sound was not a threat. It was a statement of absolute ownership. The hunters retreated, the invisible wall of fear holding them back. The second attempt was worse. A lone woman, driven mad by the cries of her child, made a frantic dash with the water's skin. The lizard uncoiled with shocking speed, a surge of primordial power. It did not pursue. It simply lunged 5 feet, its jaws parting to reveal a serrated architecture of death, and slammed them shut with a crack that echoed like splitting rock. She fell back, scrambling away on hands and knees, the empty skin forgotten in the dust. The clan now understands the terms. This is not a negotiation. The water belongs to the beast. Their survival skills, honed over generations, feel inadequate. The challenge facing these ancient humans is not one they can solve with a sharpened spear or a thrown stone. The creature is a force of nature, an immovable object between them and life. They watch from the crumbling ridge above, a small collective of frightened minds, and a terrible new knowledge begins to dawn. To drink, they cannot be prey. They must become the monster's predator. The decision is not spoken. Language, for these early humans, is a true love immediacy for pointing out a threat, for sharing food, for a cry of pain. A plan of this magnitude is forged in a deeper, older place. It is born in the space between them, in a series of shared, desperate glances under the pitiless sun. It is Kale, the elder whose skin is a map of droughts and hunts past, who finally gives it fall. He does not speak. He walks, his movements stiff with dehydration, to the edge of the ridge overlooking the waterhole. The clan follows. His gnarled finger points, not at the lizard, but at a narrow, compacted path it uses to patrol its territory, a groove worn into the earth between a thicket of thorns and the crumbling riverbank. It is the only route it takes. This is the beginning of the great work, a testament to the stubborn spark of foresight that defines this chapter of human evolution. As the sun bleeds away, staining the sky the color of dried blood, they descend. The work is silent, frantic. This is cooperative hunting of a different sort. The quarry is the earth itself. They use what primitive technology they possess, digging sticks, fire-hardened at the tip, and heavy, flat stones used as shovels to break the compacted soil. Women and older children use woven reed baskets to carry the dirt away, scattering it far from the site so its scent does not betray them. The hunters, their muscles trembling with fatigue, use their stone hand axes to chop through the stubborn, gnarled roots that web the ground. There are no orders given. Each member of the clan knows their task, moving as a single organism driven by a shared, silent will. Every scrape of stone on earth, every grunt of effort, is a prayer against the coming dawn. The primal fear is absolute. The darkness beyond their small circle of labor is not empty. It is a breathing entity filled with unseen things. A distant shriek from a night bird freezes them all, hands stilling, eyes wide and white in the gloom. They listen, hearts hammering against their ribs, for the heavy, dragging sound of the great lizard returning. The moment passes. It was only the wind. They return to their work, the shared terror binding them even closer. By the time the moon is a pale scar in the sky, the whole is a revelation, a dark, rectangular mound in the earth, deeper than 2 men are tall, its sides carved sheer. Their progress is a quiet miracle of desperation, a landmark in hominid history that no one will ever record. They weave a fragile net of branches over the opening, a lettuce of lies. They cover it with leaves, and then a final, careful dusting of the original soil. One of the women, with an artist's precision, uses a stick to draw the faint lines of animal tracks across the surface, restoring the illusion of solid ground. As the first hint of grey light touches the horizon, a new problem emerges. The job is perfect, but the beast is not a fool. It may sense the disturbed earth. It needs a reason to cross that exact spot with haste, without caution. Dara, one of the younger hunters, whose face is gaunt with thirst, has the answer. He minds it for the others a distraction, a decoy. Someone must draw the lizard's attention from the far side of the waterhole, to make it angry, to make it charge blindly along its path. A sudden, chilling understanding settles over the group. The trap of earthen branches is only one part of the weapon. The other part must be a person. There is no debate. As the first rays of the sun set the eastern clouds on fire, Dara meets Scalar Gaze, the young hunter. His body a taut braid of sinew and sand arcane skin, gives a single, sharp nod. He selects the lightest spear. Its tip a shard of flint nabbed to a vicious edge. This is the purest expression of the clan's bond. An act of altruism so profound it exists beyond words. He is not offering his life. He is investing it in the survival of the others. He is the point of the spear that the entire clan now throws. He moves away from them, a solitary figure against the vast, indifferent landscape that has been the stage for so much of hominid history. He skirts the hidden trap and positions himself on the far side of the waterhole, his heart a frantic drum against his ribs. The megalania is awake. It rests on the muddy bank, a creature of immense, patient lethality. Dara he FTS a rock the size of his fist and hurls it. The stone strikes the lizard's flank with a dull thud. For a moment, there is no reaction. Then, the massive head swivels, the black eyes fixing on the small, biped annoyance. A low hiss, like steam escaping a fissure in the earth, drifts across the water. Dara shouts, the row, desperate bark, and hurls another stone. This one strikes its snout. That is the final insult. The apex predator rises, its bulk displacing the very air, and begins to move. It is not a run. It is a flowing, reptilian surge, a wave of muscle and scale that consumes the ground with terrifying speed. Dara turns and flees, his bare feet pounding the baked turf. He does not look back. He can hear it. A rhythmic, heavy scraping. The sound of claws on stone. He can feel the vibrations through the soles of his feet. He runs along the riverbank, his lungs burning, his path taking him directly toward the concealed pit. The clan watches, paralyzed, a collective breath held in their throats, for a few heartbeats that stretch into an eternity. It seems the beast will catch him. Then, he is past the spot, the megalania, its focus entirely on the fleeing prey, charges over the trap. The collapse is instantaneous and violent. The earth simply vanishes. With a sound like a thunderclap, 20 feet of predator plummets into the darkness. A monstrous, reptilian shriek of rage and pain erupts from the pit, followed by the sickening crunch of bone. A cloud of red dust billows up. The clan lets out a collective gasp, a sound of terror and triumph, but the shrieking continues. Peering over the edge, they see the horror. The trap was not deep enough. The foal has broken one of its powerful legs at an unnatural angle, but it is not dead. It is trapped, cornered, and incandescent with fury. It thrashes against the earthen walls, its immense claws gouging out chunks of soil, its serrated teeth snapping at the air. The water is within sight, but the path is blocked by a wounded, cornered god of a beast. They are dying of thirst, but cannot get past. Dara stands on the edge, chest heaving, his body slick with sweat. He sees the situation. He sees the terror in the eyes of his people. He knows there is no time to wait. His sacrifice is not yet complete. With a final look back at the faces of the clan, the faces he is saving, he grips the heaviest hunting spear. Before anyone can react, he leaps. He lands on the creature's broad, scaly back, driving the flint spear down with the full weight of his body, aiming for the spot where the massive skull meets the spine. There is a terrible, guttural roar. The lizard thrashes, throwing him against the wall of the pit. For a single, nightmarish moment, man and monster are a whirlwind of dust and blood in the dark. Then, a final, wet crack, and silence. A silence measured in blood, paid for with the life of their bravest. The clan slowly approaches the edge, their first taste of victory, forever tasting of ash and grief. One of the women clutches a pouch of red ochre, the powder of ritual and remembrance, knowing it will soon be needed. The silence that settles over the waterhole is more profound than the noise that came before. The clan drinks, their thirst quenched at last. But the water is brackish with the taste of sacrifice. The act is finished. The great lizard is dead. And so is the hunter who made it possible. From our distant vantage point, through the lens of archaeology and deep time, this is not merely a story of a successful hunt. It is a defining moment in the story of us. The pit they dug was more than a hole in the ground. It was a physical manifestation of abstract thought, of foresight. The decoy was more than a tactic. It was a devastating calculus of communal survival, where one life is weighed against many. These human ancestors, cornered by a hostile world, did not simply endure. They thought, they planned, they cooperated, and they sacrificed. This brutal event, etched into the memory of a single clan millions of years ago, is a blueprint. The trust, the shared desperation, the willingness to pay an ultimate price for the group. These are the invisible foundations upon which all our cathedrals and civilizations are built. Their victory was not in the slaying of a beast, but in proving that a small community, bound by unspoken trust, could rewrite the rules of a world that was trying to erase them. How much of that hunter's leap still echoes in every selfless act we witness today? This is the Chronicle. We do not judge the fallen or the saved. We only watch, and we remember. But what happens when the greatest threat walks onto legs?